Hello everyone and welcome back to the XRP Hobart channel. We're going to talk about XRP, and I gotta start with this because this is why most people think that July is going to be huge for crypto. Every time June closed red, Bitcoin went on to close July in the green. It's likely we see some relief for Bitcoin this month. What if we don't? What if Bitcoin just stays where it's at right now? What if XRP all of a sudden starts to break out without Bitcoin? Nobody ever thinks of that happening because they always believe that Bitcoin is going to control this entire space. So before we continue, if you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Now, let's get back to the topic. If Bitcoin dumps, everything else is going with it. Yeah, because we are still running with Bitcoin. But what if XRP decouples and then all of a sudden utility takes over? Nobody can see that coming. But so far, if you look at what's been going on throughout this entire cycle, it's a lot different from what we've seen with previous cycles. And everything going forward is a catalyst for utility. It's not really a catalyst for Bitcoin at all. June's monthly candle close is in, and you see XRP June 2014, 2018, 22, and then 2026. XRP's midterm year June weakness isn't just history. It's a pattern that is still unfolding in real time. 2026 was no different. What I think we're going to see going forward is a big change, not just in the crypto space. I think the Clarity Act is going to change everything. If that gets done, the rest of this year is going to look a lot different in crypto. I think it's going to start to send these utility-driven cryptocurrencies to new all-time highs. But beyond that, it's also going to bottleneck a lot of things like exchanges that aren't doing KYC, AML. It's also going to get rid of 99% of crypto. That liquidity has to go somewhere, and people are going to look at that like a black swan event. But I think we're going to see utility-driven cryptocurrencies start to outperform every other cryptocurrency that's left in this space. Bitcoin is not going to run when utility is everywhere. In other words, when the whole narrative shifts away from speculation fully, it all favors utility. Sold 2.5 million in crypto, rotated into physical video games. Sony just killed PlayStation discs starting 2028. Digital games aren't owned. They're licenses that can vanish overnight. Sealed discs can't be rug pulled. The last physical era is the next big collectible. I like the idea of collectibles. Don't get me wrong, I just mentioned something similar to this in a video the other day because I know a guy who just went all in on sports cards. Now, here's how I look at this. The world is shifting into a new financial system, and we're not going to be settling payments using PlayStation games or Xbox games, but we are going to be settling payments using XRP. Now, not to say that some of these things aren't going to go up in value. I think this absolutely will go up in value over time, but if you're holding the right cryptocurrencies right now, you are going to get generational wealth. You'll get financial freedom because these cryptocurrencies, they're not going to stay at low prices forever. The biggest thing that shakes people out right now is they have no vision to see where XRP goes from here. But I would never sell my XRP to go all in on PlayStation desks or Xbox games. I look at it like this. That is more something that you buy with disposable cash. Like if you're into video games, definitely buy and hold video games. But if you're into the future and what is going to become the future, then you go all in on XRP. Right now, you can buy crypto at 90% off of its future price. Windows like this don't stay open long. And the people who lock in now will get rich. I think the window is closing. As long as you beat the institutions to XRP, you're good. If you come in after the institutions are already here, you're going to be paying top dollar for XRP. But it's not just XRP, it's XLM, it's XDC, it's HBAR, QNT, Algo, IoT, Flare. They're all sitting at dirt cheap prices right now. This is the time you load up so you don't have any regrets later. I'm telling you, once you start to see these cryptocurrencies break out, FOMO will follow. Without utility, there is no fundamental value. Without fundamental value, there is no value. Why would you hold an asset without value? if you come into crypto, the very first thing you need to understand is that not every cryptocurrency has utility. There's cryptocurrencies out there that people claim have utility. I just don't see the utility in those cryptocurrencies. However, I do see the utility behind XRP and XLM and XDC and so on. But if that's what you want to invest in, that's what you want to be holding. If it has utility, it's for me. That's how I look at it. I'm not an XRP maxi. I am a utility maxi. 50,000 XRP sounds insane until you understand liquidity. It's not about hype. It's about how value moves, but it would require full global adoption. What do you guys think? $10,000? And take a listen to this clip, and he also brings in and mentions market cap as well.
When you hear the number $760 XRP, many people out there, oh, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Well, remember, in 2018, XRP did somewhere in the 36,000 to 45,000% return. And it did it in a 700 to 800 billion dollar market. We're now in a 2-point-something trillion, and I don't think there's anybody that doesn't think we're heading into the tens to hundreds of trillion. Well, I asked AI, and what AI came up with, if XRP repeated that performance, and why couldn't it repeat that performance in a 10 to 100 trillion dollar market when it was able to perform like that in a 700 to 800 billion dollar market? And the number it came up with was between $640 and $760 XRP. It's not crazy, but it doesn't mean it has to happen overnight. But I believe it.
He believes that we will see a $760 to $1,000 per XRP. And he's not wrong. I mean, the market cap size of crypto right now is still very small compared to where it's going. He mentioned $100 trillion market cap for all of crypto. Now, I always believe, and I still 100% believe, market cap has nothing to do with the price of XRP. It's going to come down to supply and demand. I believe the supply will be gone and the demand will be skyrocketing at some point. And that's what's really going to send XRP to some of these price points that people think are crazy. Now, when will that happen? I still believe it happens by 2028. I think we're going to see the crisis show up at some point between now and next year. It could be the liquidity crisis, banks collapsing out, and so on. Nobody really knows, but the Phoenix, which we're holding, which is XRP, will rise from those ashes, and we're still waiting for XRP to go live on all of those rails that were set up all around the world. But it goes beyond that. Now you got to factor in tokenization. You got to factor in AI agents, paying other AI agents, and so on. The utility for XRP, it continues to get stronger and stronger because we are still waiting for a breakout when it comes to tokenization, a breakout when it comes to AI and so on. But I don't believe he's wrong. I just think it's going to happen when we all least expect it. All of a sudden, we're going to see a major shift in this space, and money is going to enter the space like it has never entered this space before. So you're worried about a red candle on XRP, but not the fiat in your bank account that's been slowly robbed of its value for years. Make it make sense. You know, everybody still is under the assumption that it's better to keep money in the bank than it is to keep money in assets. Assets go up in value. The money in the bank will continue to lose value. Look at how much things cost right now. Even if you talk to people in crypto, they're going to tell you the same thing. I would rather stay in XRP than get into US dollars. Now, when you could cash out into a stable coin and earn yield off of that stable coin, that would have been the path forward. But they want to take away the yield earning on stable coins. So that kind of kills that whole idea. But the way I look at it like this, I would rather have very little money in the bank and all of my money in XRP or other utility-driven cryptocurrencies, because I know at some point the breakout is going to begin, and all of a sudden the money that you have tied into your crypto, it's going to do a 10x, it's going to do a 50x or a 100x, plus the bank is not offering you those type of returns. BlackRock, Larry Fink, every stock, every bond, every fund, every asset can be tokenized. He described a ledger with native issuance, a built-in DEX, and compliance baked in. It already exists, the XRP ledger. And I'm telling you right now, what BlackRock is building, what their whole plan forward is around tokenization, XRP Ledger is going to capture most of that value. I still think BlackRock and Ripple are building out something massive behind the scenes. Crypto is now the biggest corporate political spender in America. Ripple, Coinbase, and Andreessen Horowitz have poured $189 million into the 2026 midterms. 37% of all $517 million in corporate donations tracked. This already beats the industry's entire 2024 spend, and November is still 4 months out. You know why they're going this big on the midterms? Because you cannot let Elizabeth Warren back in. You cannot let Maxine Waters run the show going forward. I'm telling you now, if they get control, once again, we are going right back into the crypto crackdown. They want to make sure that pro-crypto candidates are in office going forward. Think about the Clarity Act. If that goes past the midterms, depending on who gets voted in, that could change everything when it comes to the Clarity Act. All of a sudden, it gets sidelined until 2028 or beyond. That's the moment we are in right now. But of course, crypto is going to pour a ton of money into the 2026 midterms because we need to get pro-crypto candidates in office. E-gray crypto to XRP holders. This chart is super bullish for the next major decision. He says the bent fork. This is the chart. No noise, no emotion, no long explanation needed. The structure is speaking clearly, and only those who understand the market structure will understand the move. So this is the chart right here. He's talking about a $15 XRP, but take notice, he also has the possibility of going back to 85 cents. Everybody wants the same thing. They want crypto to break out already. Most people are frustrated. They watch XRP go sideways for a long period of time or break down even more. But this opportunity just opened up the ability for people to stack a lot of XRP before we head out to those price points. $15, $27, $50 plus, possibly 3 digits. You want to have a decent bag when that happens? The opportunity is still here. It's not going to be here forever. Once the breakout starts, that's it. Do you honestly think XRP is going to $15 or $27 and then it's just going to come all the way back down to $1 again? That's not going to happen. We're going to continue to push upward higher and higher over time as more and more value continues to come on chain through tokenization. As the price goes higher because XRP is going live on those Ripple rails, that's going to push the price higher. You stack now so you don't have regrets later. And until it all happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. Have a great day. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and be sure to join my free Telegram community with the link on my channel where I post my daily crypto experience and arbitrage opportunities you can't get anywhere else. This is XRP Hobart signing off.